Hey, what's up, everybody? It's me, Danae, and I'm here with a message for you. Hope you're doing well today. I would say happy so-and-so, but by God, I can't even remember what day it is. I think it's Wednesday. Let's go with that. I know yesterday was Halloween, but I swear to you, I cannot remember what day it was, but I'm pretty sure let's say I'm not pretty sure, but my best guess is that today is Wednesday. So happy Wednesday question mark to you. Hope you're having a good day so far, and that you enjoyed your night last night and you've recovered accordingly from whatever your festivities may have been. My son tried to put me in a sugar coma with him, but I did my best to resist. He got hella Snickers because he knows those are my favorites, so he would like grab one wherever he saw one. So he was really excited about that for me. And low-key, I'm kind of excited about that for me too, because that's my favorite part of candy holidays such as Halloween and Easter, is to OD on Snickers, my favorite candy bar. But anyway, now that Halloween is completely out of the system, well, actually today is the Day of the Dead, which is kind of in correlation. It's more of I think it's more Mexican, but I'll say generally Latin holiday observance of ancestral presence and lineage and legacy and things of that sort. I think I've seen that it's today on the calendar, but I think it's celebrated from Halloween up until the 2nd. So if you are someone that celebrates that, happy holiday to you. But of course, it's never a wrong time to give thanks and pay homage to those that have paved the way for us with their own blood, sweat, and tears to have this present experience we call life as it is. So there's that. So let's see what's on the bottom of the deck. Oh no, somebody said. This is 5 of Cups. This is sadness, disappointment, depression, dare I say. Someone that has had, or at least feels to have experienced some great loss, and it's hard for them to get over it, to move forward. They're kind of like stuck on the loss, and it's hard to see the light of possibilities in this energy with the 5. Hard to see the possibility for change with the 5 being an indication of change. So let's see what that's about. My goodness. I hope that's not a general. Oh, and here's the ancestors right here. It's funny because I saw the Hermit card in my head. I was like, it would be crazy if the Hermit was under the deck. But here it is. This is ancestral presence. Really more energetically. And it also speaks to the going within and being guided from your inner compass, or finding your own inner light, and that inner light oftentimes being a connective force to intangible realms such as the angelic realms or ancestral plane, or however it is you see the intel of the past into the present, or the presence of the past in the presence of the past in the presence, if you get what I'm saying. Oh, here we got the Ace of Swords card here. So I don't know, maybe someone is someone in their remembrance of today maybe feels a little bit of grief or sadness, perhaps. in thought of the ancestors or loved ones past, or I don't know. That's really wow. Oh, we got the Ace of Cups and the Swords. Is this tears? Hold on now. Wait a minute. I ain't come here. And it's back again. And then the King of Swords. What's this? Sun card. And illuminating some struggle or imbalance, instability. Oh no. This is someone that feels like they've disappointed the ancestral realm, their lineage. They've let their lineage down to produce a legacy. It's like they fumbled the bag. They had access. They fumbled the ball and the bag, I guess, with the Two of Pentacles, but they had access to all this supreme support with the Ace of Swords, that's divine truth and clarity, and a spiritual anointing. What's this? Peeking behind the Ace of Cups. Yeah, and they were given the opportunity with all of this spiritual support and ancestral guidance to expand and express, in some new territory. But there's disappointment here, there's grief, because something's fallen short, or this individual has fallen short. Oh, and the Hero of the High Priestess. Yeah, these are secrets exposed. Somebody feels disconnected from their spiritual guidance, like their ancestors ain't rocking with them. The angelic realms have I don't know, like disconnected the channel, or I don't know, disconnected that line, the bloodline that someone may have been entrusted to champion in some new direction, to perhaps break off some karmic cycles, or some what do we call it, generational curses. That's what that is. It's like someone was given a great charge, but also given a great support as well, and they don't feel like they have met the challenge. Maybe they went about doing it one way. That Five of Cups. Like, they definitely had the mindset, when he's looking at that Three of Cups, it's like, oh my God, and this is what I was thinking too. When he's looking at that Three of Cups, it's like celebration. So they were focused more on the celebratory aspect of life, the sensational aspect of life. In some imbalanced way, this can sometimes be debauchery, partying. It's celebration, it's celebratory, but it's like, to be disappointed in yourself for indulging or turning more into this favor is like you did too much partying and bullshit, like, in the words of Biggie, not mine. But it's like, yeah, you were definitely called to enjoy. Somebody just had the game messed up. They saw it was a bit one-sided or singularly focused. They saw the voids and where perhaps their predecessors had missed out, and just enjoying the sensuality of life, like being free to just, live, you know what I mean? Like, but not having the balance of the responsibility in the spirit. Like it's just overindulgent, too fixated on the good life ultimately can veer you into some lower vibrational energies to maintain this spirit of indulgence, and that can ultimately be distracting from the more serious callings in life, to be sober-minded in some regard, and in a spiritual sense, to not show up to work drunk, pretty much is what I'm hearing. You know what I mean? Like, I mean that in a spiritual way, but hell, maybe actually in a physical way. I don't know. Maybe somebody lost their job, drinking too much. I don't know. But the Three of Cups, we still got the Sword of Truth here, the Ace of Truth, the Ace of Swords, screwing it all up. But it means that's what it all comes down to. This is something real that's being expressed and exposed here with the Sun card. Oh, that's how the bag was fumbled. Not taking the responsibility seriously, still hanging on too much on the overindulgence in life, and it got in the way somehow. It got in the way of maybe practical day-to-day responsibilities and the mission, just to secure one's own stability and independence. And then it got in the way of some bigger spiritual mission where, because this person didn't remain sober-minded to follow they weren't sober enough energetically to follow and listen to the directions from their spirit. It's like your certain ancestors, because maybe some ancestors thrived in that energy. All of our ancestor, our ancestral, what do you call it? Like, I almost said clergy, but not clergy, but like the council, your ancestor. Not all the ancestral council is righteous. You might have some loved ones that have gone before you that were pretty wild, and you could absorb that energy too. It's just a matter of what you're in the vibration for. That's why it's important for us to be aspiring to our most supreme self and really nurturing spiritual purity as much as we possibly can. Nobody's perfect, but that's the vibrational match you want to be for that intel that's going to actually lead you in a wise direction, that has an invested interest in your well-being, not just in continuing the debauchery, like keeping the party going, because those ancestors can come through too if you're a vibrational match, on that lower frequency for them to do so. Yeah, then they'll love to stick around and lead you straight to hell if you let them. So I feel like maybe that's what I'm saying this for a reason, and even saying the whole Day of the Dead. I've never acknowledged the Day of the Dead, or I saw it on my calendar and I kind of did a quick little, oh, what's that type of, I kind of knew, but I didn't know, so it's not something that I have a familiarity with per se, and definitely not culturally, but there's always a reason for what I'm saying, right? And nothing is coincidental. So I feel like this person may have perhaps allowed himself to be an open channel for the wrong vibration of energy in general, whether it be in spirit or in truth. And they became, super saturated with that force. This is spirit here, literally. Super saturated with that force in a way that it obviously has caused some great loss and disappointment in their life up until this point. Oh my gosh. Look at this, y'all. Day of the Dead. Wowzers, yo, this is wild. So we got the Death card. And I actually hear like he followed some energy into the wrong line of work is literally what I hear with this eight of Pentacles card. Someone that it was like the blind leading the blind. Ultimately, she was presenting herself to be some, some expert in her field, or some, highly intellectual feminine with great insight and vision, and she was leading the charge and more or less directing the focus toward. Remember, the King of Swords came out, so this is counterpart energy. But she was leading the charge on whatever it is their focus was collectively, or perhaps even having a great influence on how he invested his time and energy. Like, it looks like she's like the slave driver right here, to being the Queen of Swords, like, keep working, keep working. Whoa. And he's just like, I was getting to it, Wow. Meanwhile, she wasn't willing to do much of anything that didn't suit her, didn't satisfy her fancy in some regard here. And it's like I don't know what this is with the Death card, because I can't tell if like she is bringing this energy in, or is like that's what I feel like. And also see how she's kind of under the Hermit card. It's like she was blocking his channel to that more superior source of intel by way of, wisdom from the ancestors, wisdom from inner truth, and guiding light, keeping him from mastering himself, which is also the Hermit card energy. Virgo, this is Scorpio. Okay, so she was playing hella mind games. That's what this energy is, and it completely transformed what was his natural essence of being, to which was also a visionary with that King of Swords card. And then you had the Ace of Swords, and then the Ace of Cups, high vibrational energy. The Sun card, like it's like she completely, she blocked his evolution, and like oh my gosh, like she put to rest, like she buried all of his gifts. She buried his gifts. And I feel the spirit of consumption, although, yes, that's what it is, because she got one hand open, so she's willing to receive, like I said, everything that suits her. But anything that doesn't, or any way that he, fell out of alignment with what her vision was, which we have established was for her own gratification, it's like she cut it short. This is, she literally transformed his divine energy into something, I don't even know what to call it, like dead, rotten, spoiled, desecrated. Because I'm thinking about, like, in biblical times, you were rendered like unclean if you handled like a corpse, you know. Same with this energy, like the things that she exposed him to, okay, the things that she exposed him to ultimately sullied his spirit and depreciated his value, which is what I've been saying, like it lowered his frequency, like he was fixated on the wrong things when he was probably never meant to be no work mule like this. But because of who he connected with and hooked up with, who presented herself as the Queen of Swords, but in actuality it seems in this energy didn't have much to offer. She was blocked psychologically in some way, and she ultimately transferred that energy onto him and created a blockage between his open channel of communication between, you know, the directives of his true destiny, because he was too distracted, you know, otherwise, to hear where he should be and what he should actually be working on, what he should actually be investing his time in. It's like I said, literally the channel, the communication lines were like severed, and she perhaps reconnected, because swords is also communication. Look at this, like, see how the swords are going this way between the death energy and him. It's like she disconnected his divine channel and then reconnected him to something that was not good. This is not good death energy, even in the transformation aspect. It's like changing someone for the worse. Yeah, she brought out the worst in him. That's what I say. Not the best. Let's see what else we got. Goodness. There's a 10 of Pentacles, which, okay, so that's what he was working. That's what she had him. Okay, because remember, I'm like, it's like, keep working. Cracking the whip. But her whip is her tongue, because it's the sword energy. So she was like, this is somebody carrying the death energy. This is some like an assassin of the tongue that could just like obliterate you with one inference of an insult. Like somebody that's so good at manipulating with her words that it's like she don't even have to like fully say the thing. It's like she knows different triggers to imply that would almost lead her target to the insult, you know, like, you know, people like that I don't even want, the energy is so icky to me that I don't even want to try to give an example, because I just don't even work that way. But I know people that do, that know how to say just enough to have you trying to figure out, like, what does she mean by that? Like, why did she say that? And second guessing yourself, like, am I doing the right thing? Am I, like, a complete mind fucker is this energy with the Queen of Swords. Complete, like, oof. But all the while, she knows that he's the gateway to this 10 of Pentacles. First of all, she knows that because she knows that she isn't. So for her, it's like she tried to get blood from a turnip in the spirit of desperation that she's in, because she doesn't have the value within her own being to do what it is that she so desperately, that she's so obsessive about, which is this overflowing wealth, you know, in the 10 of Pentacles, like more money than she can spend ultimately, to have all the finer things in life, to be affluent in every way, you know. And with this energy is for the sake of appearances, and, wanted to ultimately be dominant in her expression of wealth, like put on airs or even keep up with the Joneses, but it's more so like shit on people, I would say, because this obsession with working other people for your own prosperity when you just sitting there, it's like somebody just sitting there like, you're not doing enough type of vibe. But like I said, the tongue is so sharp with this one. It's so sharp that it's like she got in his head so much that he couldn't even hear his own self think, let alone any ancestral intel or angelic intel. It just became more and more muffled till all he knew was to, keep this situation satisfied for the sake of his own sanity. So there was some acquisition here that occurred. But with that Five of Cups that we led with, it speaks to there being some great loss. Maybe it was just a loss in his spirit for the obsession with obtaining this status and maintaining this status. But something here has changed drastically. And this plan of action is like, it's like he's trying to get back on top, get the world, gain control again of his world. But his outlook is so skewed now. See how small the world is and how vast the horizon is. It's like his outlook is jaded. So anything that he even tries to put into action, it's, I don't know, like, how can I say it? It's like tainted, because he's still not operating in the source of, maybe he has awakened to, release himself from this energy. I don't know, we're going to keep going, but the sadness with the Five of Cups is that he's lost that pure communication with trusted sources. And it's like now there's an uncertainty here because of the experience as to how, if he can even trust himself, his own plan, his own perception, let alone trust anyone else, given what he's experienced when he did obviously allow himself to be vulnerable in some type of connection or relationship as the King of Swords with the Queen of Swords. Let's see what else. That's a lot. I'm gonna take that. Magician card, Death Magic, off the top, because what she wants to be is the Queen of Pentacles again. So there was some fall from prosperity here. Or just always, this is the energy that's being expelled per her. And he's needing to protect himself. And like I said, with her, it could be, and here, man. Now, earlier I said, are these tears? Because that's what it felt. And I feel like it is, but it's like the divine, oh man, yeah, the divine. The ancestors, the Ten of Pentacles here. These are the ancestors that are distraught because of how he ultimately has been apprehended into this toxic cycle. Remember I said he was given a charge to shift the trajectory for his legacy, like clear up some karmic cycles, stop some generational curse in some regard. And this implies to me that he got caught right up in it on account of this energy here with the Queen of Swords. It's like he's right back at it again. This is a regressive memory. And the energy is almost like attacking this death magic. It's like, oh man. The reason why the heavens are distraught, the ancestors are so maybe that's really the tears, is the ancestors are mournful, because this was the opportunity to shift it all for all. And now it's like there's like an end, a finality here, because it's like, look, I'm hearing like this was the last chance. This one pentacle, this was supposed to be the investment into the work that would have shifted this fate for all, because we're all extensions of our, like I said, of our ancestors. You know, what we do is what ultimately, what off of the sacrifice, the blood, sweat, and tears that they poured into this life to give us the opportunity to do, and we get the chance to make, you know, by way of divine support and invitation, to make choices that would shift the dynamic, not just for the past, you know, reconciling the sacrifices that were made, but also for future generations to be broken free from the continuance of unfavorable, unprosperous cycles. And it's like he had access to the whole of this inheritance, and ultimately for it to be redeemed for his bloodline. But because of this magical energy he got caught up in, and this is someone that knew what he had access to, and that was her focus. You know, that was to put an end to the prospect of his prosperous future and absorb anything that she could to be that Queen of Pentacles, to assume it for self. Not that she was purely a Queen of Pentacles, but she saw an opportunity to manipulate her way into this energy somehow and monopolize it ultimately, and he was the gateway to allow her to do that. Otherwise, she had no point of entry into this fortune here, this dynasty, this legacy, this wealth. She didn't come with gifts. She siphoned it off of him, stole it from his legacy. Now, he allowed entry into that world. You know, he's the gateway, even as it's illustrated here on the board. He offered her the cup. Look at this energy here. He's the one that, of all the cups, you know, he had other opportunities to do something different. Perhaps even with that unconditional love with the Ace of Cups, and he gave it all to this individual who, look at her, in stature is so much smaller than him. There was no comparison ever. But because of the illusion of such, she made herself bigger with her words, and her aggressions made her more intimidating of a force energetically. And it probably inflated her value to him, or at least just her intimidation in some way, shape, or form. And I'm getting regressive, because this sometimes can be childhood memories. There was something, again, supposed to be breaking a cycle. Whatever this dynamic of relationship was, it was a cycle, a karmic cycle that was familiar to him, even not just past life, but in his waking life. Consider other relationships, but when we consider our track record of relationships, they usually stem from what? Our relationships with our caregivers, whether it be mother or father, grandmother, whatever that dynamic was growing up, you usually play that, that energy out over and over again in some way, shape, or form. Even if you look to get the total opposite of your mom or your dad, you still end up regressing to some of the same behaviors or triggers, or susceptible to the same triggers of being that person and that dynamic if that experience is gone unreconciled or unhealed. And that was the invitation ultimately in the spirit, to heal some traumas that would put him in a position to be a vibrational frequency for this overflow of ancestral inheritance, of gifts, of like a jailbreak from the trauma, the toxicity, the karma. Jailbreak for him, jailbreak for those that came before him. But it's like, to me, I feel like this is a direct line of attack. Death magic, it's either physical, God forbid, or it's energetic and spiritual with the cups and the wands. Either way, it's like a lights out, emotionally so, because as I've said, now he may be in a position to want to forge a new path ahead with that Two of Wands, but all the gifts that were given to him in the spirit, just to have discernment, to know what to invest in and know what not to, have been depreciated. Ancestors ain't speaking like they used to because they can't. The channel is closed. Angelic realms are kind of like, they kind of like hands up at this point. They can really only help you as you try to help yourself, more or less. There has to be some evidence of assertiveness there for the angelic realms to step in. At least the intention, like the purest intention, for there to be a change or a shift. And what's this? Oh, and the King of Swords again. Poor investments were made energetically, and they did not yield a high return at all. Working all hard as you are to come right back down to the Seven of Pentacles, except that it's not actually the Seven of Pentacles, because it's only one harvested off of this bush. And you know what? Five of Cups is also, it could also be in a very physical way, dis-ease, like spiritual dis-ease that has now manifested into physical dis-ease with this Seven of Pentacles. Rapid results is what I hear here. And that may be the despair, that it's like something irreversible at this point. Perhaps that's what the death energy here, that it could be it could be a prognosis of fatality or terminality. A prognosis, because miracles are still a thing. So, there could be a change. Literally, miracles are still a thing. There could be a change in that energy if there is a shift in mindset and perspective. If there's still time for that, I don't know at this point. Like, it seems like a lot of damage. That was the Ace of Swords, though. Seems like a lot of damage has been done. And the thing of Wheel of Fortune, this is karmic. It's the karmic response to these bad seeds that have been sown. And this is giving me that time is not on this person's side anymore. It would have to be a miracle at this point. It's not the grace of, take your time and get around to it as you will. It's like, if there is time, time is of the essence at this point to really make a complete turnaround from what's been persisted up until this point. And what was I going to say right before that, though? Oh, because with the Five of Cups card, it's like, really the determining factor is the matter of perception and perspective. Like his perception, first, his perspective, what he's looking at is those 3 cups spilled, like spilled milk, something he can't do anything about at this point. So that's the energy of perhaps this health diagnosis, or some spiritual dis-ease, whatever it amounts itself to be. It's like he's still looking at that as the focus, like, oh my God, I've lost everything, when in actuality he hasn't really lost everything yet, because in that Five of Cups there's still 2 cups behind him. If he would shift his perspective to see the 2 cups, he could then have a change in perception about what those cups could actually be. It could be hope, it could be another chance, it could be an opportunity to move forward in some new way and leave the past behind. But it really is determined upon that individual's will to change his mind. And that is where time is no longer in favor of, because the situation is so dire at this point that you don't have time to be crying over spilled milk. Like, you kind of just gotta get up, dust yourself off as best you can at this point. Find the grace and gratitude for what you presently have in your possession and what is the truth of now. What did I say earlier? The presence of the ancestral presence in the presence. I don't know if that relates right now, but I'm drawn back to that what I said in that moment. I don't know, maybe there's one ancestor or there's one channel of intel that's still open, but it's like he ain't hearing it still because he's still focusing on something that's not really speaking life into his situation. He's creating from what his focus is, and it's like tick tock, tick tock. Maybe he doesn't like his options. Yeah, Five of Pentacles. He doesn't like the options on moving forward. Moving forward in poverty, it just is unfathomable to him at this point, when he was once the inhabitant of the Ten of Pentacles. That was once upon a time his. Yeah, and now he's down to 2. But see, that's still the wrong focus, because 2, and this came up before when I said he fumbled the ball or fumbled the bag, even 2 is better than none. If you still have any access to that magic in your being, you can make something shake with 2 pentacles. Create, look at this, five of wands again, Five of Pentacles again. And this is her. This is this Queen of Swords. You know what I'm hearing? This is her. It's like every time he does try to get up and dust himself off, she throws some energy. This is where this continuous attack, because she got him by the balls. Even if she's not in his proximity, her energy is so permeating. That's why she's coming up as the Queen of Wands now. Still the stain of probably words that have pierced his soul, without her even potentially, even because she may not even be around anymore for no Two of Pentacles. But her words are still lingering, that energy of how how beat down he felt still lingers. Unless she is still around and, like I said, just still trying to beat him to the pulp. What's this? Him as the King of Cups? I don't know. It might be, yeah, this might be him trying to find his way back to his love source. And every time she even, yeah, with the Lover's card, yeah, they may still be, she might still be together. And now they're both in an unfavorable position. And the Five of Pentacles is absolutely bad health, for sure. The Five of Cups is like the despair over a circumstance, but the Five of Pentacles is like poor in spirit, poor in health, poor in material resources. Like they both struggling. This is like struggle love, but it ain't love at all. The only reason why she's still hanging in there, and this is literally cracking the whip, is for some recuperation of, it's like she had a taste of the good life. She knows that it's possible. And she's too disillusioned in her own greed. Is this the Wheel of Fortune again? This is Judgment. Wow. She's still too disillusioned in her own greed for, you know, a reclamation of that status and those possessions to just give up, you know, to say, you know what, he'd be better off if she would just like leave him be, you know what I mean? Like just leave him to his own devices at this point. But it's like something relentless in this energy with this feminine as the Queen of Swords. Like that's a cold-hearted bitch right there. Queen of Swords carrying death energy. She don't care about nothing. Nothing moves her. Queen of Swords is already emotionally detached. Her passion is for this money, to get up out of this poor situation. And she, at this point, maybe has exhausted most of her good resources, and he still remains one of her most promising ones. Even though he's depleted at this time, there's still more of a potential for his prosperity if she just sticks with it. She thinks if she could still do the old tricks and tactics and ultimately whip him into submission, work her own brand of magic over him to, you know, extract as much out of him as she can, that she'll get what she needs out of the deal. But that's not a piece of hair right here. Aggravate me. But this man is depleted. The only way that he's ever going to have a chance, that's why time is really of the essence. The only way he's ever going to have a chance to transcend this turmoil is if he disconnects. I almost said disconnects, literally disconnects from this energy and from anything associated with this lower vibration, because that's exactly the blockage that's keeping him from operating in the wisest mind and heart and spirit to transcend, to move beyond these dire straits, to dodge this bullet ultimately. Otherwise, like the horn has already been blown. The judgment has been set. And we're talking about judgment here. There is a sentencing. Yeah, the poor health and material harvest is the judgment. It's the sentence of the past crime. So no matter what she does, this is the outcome, you know. So it's almost like it's like a purgatory situation, because it's like he's stuck in this loop. It's like as long as he's connected to her or to whomever, whatever association helped to usher him into this space of desperation, he will always be in despair. But somehow he's still spinning his wheels, literally, with this Eight of Pentacles card, trying to get back to some ideal of prosperity that really is is out of reach at this time, but there's still something that he feels he needs her for too, perhaps. It's the mind fuck, that's what it is, that he's still up under this spell in some way, shape, or form, feeling like if he leaves, then he's going to lose all. That's the spell here, literally under the Magician card, this loop, where if he leaves, he's going to lose all, but if he stays, he's going to lose all, including his very own life, definitely his sanity. And I don't know if she knows that. I would say she has to. I feel like she's just operating as some dark lord that's just like, what do they call it? Like a sadist, like just getting off on the punishment, like something really gets her. Yes, that's what it is. Look at this. I think that's called a sadist when you like, now not in the purest form of just what your own little kinks are, because, you know, no judgment here, but I'm talking about like a spiritual sadist here with this Queen of Wands, just looking at, it's like the despair turns her on. Like the fact that she's the energy keeping him from, claiming this higher status, ever reaching this. She's the energy keeping him from reaching this higher vibration or supreme source and self, is more satisfying to her than even the money at this point. It's like she's willing to take what she can get out of the deal at this point. She may even be finding energetic, filling her energetic voids or needs elsewhere, if you get what I'm saying, unbeknownst to him, and is maybe entertained, because the Queen of Pentacles did come up, so she might have a secret stash or got a secret side hustle or boo or something like that, because I think, didn't the High Priestess peek out too? I think it did. Maybe I may be mixing up a reading, but she might got some secret stash or some secret situation going on the sidelines that she keeps disconnected from him and keeps him working like a damn slave to recreate this wealth. Like she's hurting just like him, but really she's not. She's just enjoying his despair and enjoying like his demise, watching his downfall, keeping him from his destiny, being the ultimate like lord over his life because he's allowing her to. There was a Queen of Pentacles again, like she's getting off on his despair. That's wild. That's a real witch right there. I don't even know if witch is if she should be even called a witch. Yeah, she's something else, like something like a creature, like a beast, a wildebeest is what I hear. We got the Hierophant here, and here he is again in anxiety and despair, and oh, that was the 4, because he's holding on to these pentacles, this material stability, or at least the appearance of such, because it can't possibly be real. We already at the 2 of Pentacles, so he's still trying to keep up with appearances that, no, we're doing all right, I'm fine. That's what it is. It's his pride. That's what that's about. It's the pride and ego that's ultimately keeping him from making the wisest decision, because the moment that he says, I'm gonna leave all this behind, is when he feels that everything is going to crumble. He's going to be completely exposed for this facade of a relationship that he's kept up, where everything was supposedly fine, but obviously it isn't, because there'll be actual breakup or disconnection to account for the instability that was clearly afoot. And then God only knows what this chick will do, and he knows what she's capable of, at least on the surface. And he probably is unsure of what she ultimately is. Yeah, karma again. This wheel is just continuing to spin. It's like you could keep looping all you want, but time is moving, and it stops for no man. It's waiting for no one. So the longer he diddle-dallies to make this decision, the more she's depleting his energy, the more she's taking from him. Hierophant, literally lording over his life. Devil trying to peek out, Seven of Swords. This is a character, boy. I don't even know what to call this energy. I would say Jezebel, but I wouldn't even do Jezebel like that. What the hell is this feminine force? What matter of woman is this? For real, like I ain't never seen nothing like it. Here she is, thriving in her singleness. She don't care nothing about this relationship. She can't wait till he is. Look, what she got her mind on is him kicking the bucket so she can do what? Absorb everything that he's worked for. They may be married or have been married, because the Queen of Swords and the King of Swords usually are partners that are either at odds or have ultimately been separated or divorced. At one point they were on the same page. They are counterparts, but in a vibration such as this one, they either were in a committed partnership that clearly lacked emotional stability, maybe even emotional presence or essence at all. It seems contractual, like very stoic, very purposeful their connection was. And then because the centric, the common denominator was the money for both of them, the material wealth, the prosperity, affluence, they gained more together than separately. But when that was no longer working out, because what she really did is she depleted the channel of wealth. She did too much. That's what greed will do to you, though. When you want it all. You want as much out of that turnip as you can possibly get. It sent him into overdrive and overload, and ultimately he burnt out all of his resources and intel in the same regard, doing too much. So if she would have kept on slow and steady, allowing him to do his thing, more or less played her cards better, more strategic than she actually did, it may have never come to an end. But ultimately, she just ruined it for everybody. It was supposed to be ruined, though, anyway, because the Wheel of Fortune has come out now twice. That this is justice. This is celestial justice. This is just karma and dharma balancing itself out at this point. But her idea outcome would be to be completely free of his energy, but to absorb all of his wealth. So whether it be in the divorce, in the event of his demise, on account of whatever she's able to continue to siphon from him while she's with him or attached to him in some way, shape, or form. God forbid she actually have a child, because this is child vibes. Maybe she had a baby, I don't know. And that this is child support, and she like, yeah, I got you type of thing. I don't know. I hope not. Surely, I hope not. Not in this vibration. No child deserves to, nah. And so here is this energy here, the Queen of Wands and the Five of Wands. Her being at the forefront of this conflict, chaos, and confusion. Perhaps being the champion of it is what I'm saying. This might be his inner turmoil and conflict. What's this? Ace of Truth, Ace of Swords. Creating the conflict within him, I hear, and around him. Like, okay, so this is the truth, that what I said earlier is that she's the one that's keeping this vibration going, because he won't fully disconnect from her one way or another. Either he's still physically connected with her or energetically connected to her by way of something, maybe still resources or assets, business, perhaps, if they're actually still separating or in the process of a divorce, maybe there are still some assets that are in dispute. The best thing he could do for himself would be to leave everything that they did together and run as fast as he can. Because when you're trying to clear your energetic field and purify yourself, you can't keep anything that is a trigger or that has any type of connection or cord to what you're trying to purify yourself from. You can't. Trust me, I know this firsthand. People, places, things. When you're looking for a fresh, pure, organic start, literally to be able to turn around that 5 of Cups energy into the 2 of Cups, to turn around and see the possibilities of new connection, new possibility, a new contract with spirit, within self, first and foremost, you have to dismiss and release everything that brought you to the point where you are, the point of despair that you're in now. Even the things that seem minimal. Oh, that shirt that I wore when we went when we went to this affair or went to this show, like everything must go. Everything must go. Anything that even brings up a memory of this time past. And that's probably how, if she's not physically present, because then the memory brings up, the memory brings up an emotion, and the emotion brings up, an impression, and it regresses you back into this loop of, yeah, maybe that was the shirt you wore when y'all went on that date, but what happened on that date is that she got irate because she couldn't have what she wanted, or you said something that she didn't like, and she completely flipped her shit and lost it on you and embarrassed you in front of all your friends. You know what I mean? Like embarrassed you in public. That's all that energy connected to that one shirt. And that's just one example of how inanimate objects can hold a very potent charge and force that can ultimately keep you obstructed. Everything must go. Everyone, every associate is probably still trying to hold, because he's still one that's trying to keep up appearances, maybe doesn't even want everybody to know that they're splitting up, or they didn't work out, or they're as unhappy as they are, or whatever the case may be. So you still trying to hold on to mutual friends, and what do but remind you of some of the things that you wish you could forget. So it's like, no matter how much you're trying to move on, you always get pulled back into this loop that is on a death spiral. Ultimately, and that's truly her inner magic as well, her inner workings, to always be the author of this chaos, confusion, and conflict. Like, she leads that charge in your life. She ain't got to be nowhere near you to still keep that current going. That's a strong vibration. Like, one of her is like 5, almost said something real diabolical, like 5 N-words fighting in the street. That's just how I felt it, like that ignorant, you know what I mean? Like that crass, that uncouth, that unruly, that rageful, like just fighting in the street with sticks and freaking bats and, just craziness, but all embodied in this one person who has no self-control, clearly, because this is what she embodies. Man, and that's the truth. And this is trying to come back out, but I'm going to give it a fair shuffle again. Look at this. That energy is there. It's there. And it's like that 10 of Cups is like, it can't even come out properly. Like, what? I ain't not happy about this situation. I ain't coming out for that bullshit. Just give me one card, Spirit, please. One card. Energetic prison right here. PTSD, that's what I'm saying, that trauma, that toxicity, he couldn't heal if he tried. still holding on to clothes and businesses and memories and houses and cars and friends and every little, all types of stuff that he's still holding on to, that he is just keeping them locked down. Come on, Spirit, give me one more. Let's just close this thing out, because I want out of this energy immediately. Or I should say as soon as possible, because I want it out when I started. And that's the Temperance card. Yeah, it's like the Spirit would like to balance this energy, but like I said, this is angelic presence. Yeah, but the cycle has to be completed. You have to end this cycle. It has to be, there has to be a decision to be made to close out this cycle of toxicity completely for good, in order for the Spirit to come help clean up anything, if you even have that option at this point. Because what this is really saying to me is that this is fair game in the Spirit. Like, this is all fair. This is like justice. Like, you had this cup in your hands. You had the essence of the ancestors in spirit and in truth, the gifts, maybe even the actual inheritance, like the offerings, resources, money, finances, something of, you had plenty of support to keep self out of this. And yet this is what you did with it. So this is just the karma. Like, you had the support to do something different, to have something different, to be something different. You even had the intellect, the mindset. You had all the genius with the King of Swords. You had the genius in your own embodiment to be able to do something powerful. And this is what, not only is this what it came down to, but this is what it comes down to, because you're still stuck on the loop. And it's like, Spirit can't do for you what you won't do for yourself. If you want to still be going back and forth, then it's going to be going back and forth, like buying this time, pouring up a drink. Like, this is ancestors like, well, I guess it's where we at now. Might as well pour a drink. Like, you done held up a whole bloodline. Hopefully there's some justice for those that are justified, hopefully, if it can't come through you, I don't know who it would come through from, but hopefully there's some justice, because clearly you were given all that you needed to do something powerful. And it's like you literally just poured out that Ace of Cups, middle finger to the to the Ace of Swords. You ain't truth. What's truth? F truth. F them ancestors is what you said. Look at that. Oh my God. That is sad. This is the God honest truth here. That's what you said. You said that. You said F them ancestors, F that legacy. I'm trying to get this money right here, right now. And you got it. You got it. This was your ambition right here with the King of Wands. You got it. All the power in the world, all the creativity in the world. Like, you wanted to be powerful. You wanted to, you forfeited the truth by way of you as the King of Swords for power, for authority, for... the King of Wands in a lower vibration is someone that can be pretty, consider we had the Queen of Wands here, that he fell into, he wanted to be magical. He wanted to exert and impress this mystical power more than he wanted to move in integrity and in honor. And there was a conflict of interest there. See how he's like pitted against this Ace of Swords? There was a conflict of interest of his divine identity there, because although he was empowered to do certain things, to create certain realities, he still was beholden to the integrity of his identity. And because of his association, remember I said she blocked him from the truth of his nature. Because of his association with this dark force, he became more consumed by it than he was able to make an impact or an impression within it. He became consumed by the darkness. It just completely swallowed him whole and absorbed his power, which he clearly has, absorbed his power for things that were not, they were diabolical projections, magic of a lower vibration. He lended his energy to this force in accordance with this, in accordance with this partnership, but for the purposes of prosperity, but fast prosperity. He didn't want to go at it the long and hard way, following his inner light, following his inner compass, listening to ancestral guidance, angelic direction, his supreme self. That process was too long for him. This is fast action, fire energy, quick, immediate gratification. And yes, he had the power to do it. She always knew what his potential was. She probably unlocked some potentials in him that he was unaware of, as a matter of fact, but for a dark vibration. Like, she controlled that force and misdirected it for her own gratification, for her own glory. Instead, and like I said, kept him from seeing it for the good, like, oh, I could use this to do X, Y, and Z and really be prosperous and really be productive. It's like, no, this is how the world works. This is how you get the job done. This is, the best way, the quickest way to the money. This is how it goes. All that other stuff is fantastical. Like, yeah, because the Hierophant came out, like that structured religious order almost made him feel silly for wanting to go about it in any moral or high ethical standard kind of way. Like that's ridiculous. That's for the sheep. You know what I mean? That's for those that don't know no better. Like, that's archaic perspective. This is how it works. And it's all justifiable because it's working within your own power. This is her words. This is what the impression that she made on him. Her truth. It's justified because, survival of the fittest in spirit and in truth. If people are going to be sheep and follow the conventions of society, it's almost like there was no moral here, like no moral code. Like, she made it seem like moral codes and ethics were just for, how do you say it? Like, they weren't for the elite status. They were like for, like, I'm saying sheep, but just like, oh, you still trying to be a do-gooder? You still doing it the honorable way? Like, don't you know that's just how the system tries to keep you down? Like, put it in that way. Like, that's just how the system tries to keep you down, keep you from reaching your fullest potential of power by making you feel like this is the ceiling of authority that you're beholden to. God, you are God. What do you mean? There's no authority beyond what you say is authority, and whatever you determine that to be is what it is. And this is the garbage that she fed him. And in some regards, it had a slight ring of truth, but it was distorted because, yes, we are God essence, and we do have all power within our being to create beyond limitations, absolutely. But as I said earlier, there is a certain, and he had that creative force as it was already discovered here, but there's still a certain responsibility of integrity that comes with that power. You can't get around that. Accountability for your actions. That wheel will always spin back around, and what goes around comes around. What you put out is what you ultimately get back in, and that's just how powerful you are. That whatever you sowed into the ground is ultimately what you're going to harvest. But she made him see life in a different way, as if that determination of divinity was according to you and you only, the ceiling that you set for yourself, the containment that you confined yourself to. And if you wanted to be by societal standards, then go ahead, be broke. But we over here getting this money. What's that? I had to see it. I could not see it. And that's what it led to. Heartbreak, trauma, toxicity, all the things that he was supposed to be breaking free from have now become his reality all over again in a whole new world cycle. And this is what he's facing regardless, but it's just a matter of like, you know, your sentence. Like, how long are you going to be? I just heard a horn, so I don't even know. Let me not speak beyond what I can judge, because I did say, like, this is the last time. There was something about time with this experience, this lifetime, this breath of work that he had to carry out, this mission, this task. And that's why the heavens are crying, the ancestors are weeping, because they don't see, there's a hopelessness here about the future. That whatever was invested and agreed upon this time around is the definite fate of a bloodline, perhaps the demise of a bloodline, the end of a legacy, the complete demise and destruction of a dynasty. Perhaps. I dare not speak on it indefinitely, but what I will certainly say is that as it stands now, it ain't looking good. And if this character, what's this? This is trying to peek out. Yeah, there's that blockage again. If this character doesn't break free from this blockage, this energy that's trying to keep him stuck in this heartbreak and whatever is attached to it, people, places, and things, then that's it. Game over. There really would, you know, that's the end of the world as it is known to this individual, as it is known perhaps to this lifeline. And that is the unfortunate part for those that have sacrificed so much to get here, to get him here to this last time, if they would have to suffer that fate with him. If I was his ancestors, I'd be weeping too. So anyway, I hope that in this day of remembrance, by way of this message, that you connect to the most supreme force and source of ancestral presence that is connected to you, available to you, perhaps even calling out to you in some special way. You know, maybe you're reminded of an ancestor by some memory or some circumstance, and it evokes something good. That's what I hope for you, you know, and it's a reminder to keep doing what you're doing in favor of a positive fate for all, for past, present, and future, that you're not just here working on your own accord, that, you know, people are counting on you to live a supreme life just by choosing to live it for yourself first and foremost. But you'd be surprised at how redeeming that is to make a choice to be living a supreme life in the most supreme force that you can that could change the fate of the past and the future all at once by you just living in the present of your presence, being the gift that you are in real time and receiving the gift with grace and gratitude of just breath in the body. That's the reciprocal exchange between yourself and spirit. Grace and gratitude for just merely existing in this moment of time and having the opportunity to express yourself authentically, freely, and uninhibitedly. We all had the choices. We all had the opportunities. It's just been about what you decide, how you decided to, carry them out. And we still do. We still have, that's the greatest power that we have, is that of our own choices. There will always be free will with this strength card. And we're still, as long as there's free will, going to be responsible and accountable for how we operate in that honor. So I pray that, again, as we're in remembrance, whether you are actively or not, that, you are considerate of the great charge that you have already assumed just by living in this life, agreeing to be in this realm. Like it was a choice that was made beyond you coming into existence to have this human spiritual experience at such a time as this. And know that if there's evidence in your life that things are on the up and up and, things are only looking better, you have someone to thank for that. And you also have hella support to maintain that prosperity along the way. That as long as you're moving in integrity and in truth and in honor, you're never alone. All right, so I'm going to leave it there. Until next time, peace.